Hello and welcome to the Hockey Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I am your host, Ryan Gilbert. Joining me, as usual, is my co-host, Joel Meyer. How are we doing today, Joel?
Slightly more sober than I was on the last show. No aviators today. But yeah, I did learn some more stories about my trip, because it was a bit of a haze. So you need to have recollections from other people to tell you what you did when you're fucked up. And apparently, during the border crossing, I told you about the border crossing back to Canada, but on the border crossing to the States, I was okay. I bought a bottle of whiskey. I was planning to just sip it, right? But my brother's like, no, you got to get rid of it. I'm not just going to get rid of it. I'm going to fucking drink it. So I fucking drank the whole thing. And then apparently at the border crossing, I have no memory of this. This is just something I've learned secondhand from my dad today, that I was like lipping off the border guard. We got called into the office. They were getting after us. They attacked us, whatever. Just because my idiocy, it's all my fault. I feel bad about this for my friend and my brother, but I was trying to light smokes in the middle of the border guard in the office, and
oh no,
yeah, it was a rough time. Apparently, this is all secondhand information, but yeah, just guys, don't fuck around when it comes to crossing the border. I've learned that lesson. Thankfully, I've always been able to get across, no problems, even into the States where it's not my native country. But yeah, just be prepared. Don't get fucked up. Don't be an asshole, and just take it easy. Get fucked up when you actually cross the border. Okay, that's the lesson that I have learned. Hopefully, I mean, I've learned that. I should have learned this lesson a long time ago. I don't know if I've ever told this story on the show before, but one time coming back from Baltimore, flying all the way back to Vancouver, I was wearing a Kalashnikov AK-47 shirt, the world tour, all the places that the communist countries fought, and they did not take kindly to that at the Canadian border crossing. I had to end up spending like 45 minutes in the line. I was doing push-ups, and the border guards were saying, "This is what you have to do to get back into Canada these days." And then they found all these tarot cards that my girlfriend gave me. Like, she was kind of witchy girl. So there was like the Knight of Swords and like all this satanic stuff. They thought that I was like some kind of like Islamic terrorist. So I had to explain all that shit. And thankfully, we got through in the end. So, he explained it all. Like, at the end of the day, most of them are pretty reasonable, but they give you a lot of shit. It's just tough, man. Border crossings are the worst, especially when you're drunk like I am. But that's the lesson that I've hopefully learned for the last time.
Yeah, I mean, some of your stories, your life should just be like documented as like a TV show. Like it's stranger than fiction sometimes. How big of a bottle was it like a full on whiskey bottle?
No, it's just a Mickey, which apparently is not a term in the States. I've learned that recently. You don't know what a Mickey is, do you?
Is it like one of those small like personal bottles? Like
I don't know the quarts or however you put it down there, but it's 375 milliliters, so it's half a 2.6. 2.6 ounces, I presume, right?
Okay, yeah. I think it's something like that. So yeah,
I fucking drank the whole fucking thing because they wouldn't let me cross the border with it.
Yeah. That's the one area, like crossing countries, you do not want to fuck around, especially nowadays with everything going on. So like, that's true. I mean, I know even down here, it's like crossing like some things you don't want to do crossing state borders because that's a fucking federal crime. But going across different countries, like that's crazy. That's definitely a good lesson to have learned, and hopefully you do you
for the 7th time.
consideration. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Let's get right into it here. After that, make sure you are subscribed to the Hockey Gallon podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Leave us a 5-star rating and review. Subscribe on YouTube. Join us in the chat. Shout out to Kay. Shout out Trevor there right now. So make sure you subscribe, like, and comment there. Get in the Discord, sg.pn/Discord. Follow on Twitter at HockeySGPN. We got March Madness underway, and you can compete against SGPN this March in our $75,000 winner-take-all college basketball survivor contest. March has never been this exciting. Enter at splashsports.com/SGPN. That's splashsports.com/SGPN. Plus, use promo code FINALS for a $10 bonus credit. Right.
Are you more ads?
No, that's just the.
I heard on the last show there was something funky going on when I came back from my little break.
The DraftKings disclaimer. Yes, we'll hear that again.
Okay,
I
thought what was going on with my stream there? Like, what the fuck's going on here?
Because I played it and then Smitty started talking like over it. I'm like, shit, can they not hear it? And then no, it went. It's instead of me having to read all that,
I'll be prepared this time.
Yes. Right. Yeah. Hopefully, we are more prepared for our puck buck bets as well. I went 0-4, down 85 puck bucks. Joel went 2-5, down 41 puck bucks.
Back in the fucking red.
Back in the red. Yeah, I had the Rangers on the back-to-back on the puck line. I thought, Flames on the back-to-back would get smoked, but no. Rangers went up 1-0. Then only got 13 shots on goal in total. Flames just, pouring it on, 35-13 shots, 2-1 final there. All the scoring in the first period. Rangers did not win, did not get cucked at all, but yeah, just a flat-out loss. Ducks plus 280. I would bet this again. They're up 3-2, I think. Stars tied in the third, one in overtime. Utah, though, I would not bet again. We were waiting for Edmonton to have one of these games, and they had it. Unfortunately, we were against them. And then Winnipeg, Vancouver. We correctly predicted Vancouver, but it did not stay under there with Vancouver getting the over themselves with 6 goals. So not a good night for me.
I will start with that game. Yeah, that was Tuesday was recuperation day, because I was in the States getting fucked up, and I needed a little bit of a break, and I didn't watch too much hockey because hockey makes me want to drink. So I was like binging TV shows, but I did have the Vancouver Canucks game on, so that was the only game that I really paid attention to, and that was one of their best performances of the season. Absolutely brilliant from them. The Jets actually put in a pretty good game, but they were just outplayed by the Canucks, who were the more desperate team. They played well. They had the power play going. Brock Besser finally got the schneid. Excellent game from them, so that was a nice winner there at plus 136. Other than that, I don't have too much to say. Detroit, there was a 1-1 game late, and the Capitals came in strong in the third period there to win that one. Senators, Montreal were 5.5. Nice win there, but it was it required some late third period magic once again. It was back and forth there. Good to see the Habs win. We might have a chance to see the Habs make the playoffs, which would be absolutely massive for us. When we got the Flames, Rangers over 5.5. What the fuck was up with this game, man? You already mentioned it with the Rangers puck line. But yeah, this was supposed to be a scheduled loss, which is why the Rangers were such big favorites. But I'm glad I stayed away from that bet. But I did fail in this over 5.5. I thought that there would be a little bit more offense going, but Shesterkin was very good. Calgary totally outplayed the Rangers. Rangers are a fucking dead team, man. They're dead team walking. Like, they couldn't beat the Flames after they came back from Toronto on a back-to-back there. Absolutely brutal. Anaheim, yeah, you mentioned that one. Tough loss there. Would make that bet again for sure. Chicago, they were up from this one 2-1, and then the Kraken just carried it away.
I think it was 2-0. I read in that one. It was like 6-2 final, Seattle. Yeah. So
yeah. Oh man, that's the worst when you have a dog and then that's the thing, man. With these dogs in the NHL this year, there's so many comebacks. Like, we might just pretty close to setting a record in terms of comeback wins this year, I think. We've had a lot of those, but yeah, Utah, you mentioned that one as well, just absolutely crushing. But imagine 7 goals from the Oilers and not a single point from Draisaitl. So we can get into this, but I did finally get into the Hart market again with a little bit of McKinnon, 850. I think that he's got a decent shot Draisaitl should not be like minus 240, whatever he is right now. And Hellebuck, you know how I feel about goalies. Plus, he just let in 5 goals against the Canucks, who can't score against anyone. So yeah, McKinnon for Hart is still kind of alive. You know, we got the Avalanche playing the Leafs tonight. So far, it's almost to the first period, 0-0 still. So hopefully he gets on the board. I don't know what the fuck Smitty's saying with the Kraken. They're not playing for another couple hours, so he can fuck off. Yeah, for Hart.
He may have talked up the Kraken on. Oh yeah, because that was the Blackhawks had the good vibes going. And he had the Kraken there.
Shit,
yeah. We'll get into some more stuff. We got 14 games. We'll be talking about 28 different teams, if not more. So, but yeah, I mean, this Eastern Conference wildcard race is crazy. Like Canadians are in the spot right now. Islanders are even.
This is the best playoff race in a long time. And they're actually good teams too. There's some good teams in this mix, unlike last year.
They're right. And the West too. Like I thought the Canucks would have better odds to make the playoffs now, but the Blues are right there. I'm pretty sure they play each other tomorrow, so we'll get into that. Flames, yeah, the Yotes are right there too. So, yeah, finally have a few good teams vying for those spots. All right, let's get into the 14 game slate on Thursday, March 20th. Kicking this off at 7 p.m. with the Philadelphia Flyers plus 205 at the Washington Capitals minus 250, over 5.5 minus 120, under 5.5 plus 100 here. I do like a lot of dogs today, or for this slate, but not in this game. But I guess plus odds you can say with the Capitals on the puck line, plus 110. They've won 7 of their past 8 games. Like you said, they just come on in the third period. Their third period differentials like 95 to 48 now. Like they're just dominating. Obviously, some empty netters in there, but in 4-1, 5-1, 7-4 have there been their recent wins. Flyers shut out in back-to-back games by Carolina and Tampa. A lot of 2-3 goal losses in their past 8 games there. So going with the Capitals here, plus 110 on the puck line. As for a total, I guess I would look to the over, but I can't trust the Flyers to score more than 1 goal. So I'm just going to go with the Caps puck line here.
Yeah. While I was watching my Netflix show, wasn't Netflix. It was, I don't know, The Expanse. Very good show, actually. Not a very good show, but it was entertaining at least. But while I was watching that, I did have the Capitals Red Wings game on the second screen. And the Capitals... They've got this chemistry going right now that you could see the way that they're playing together. Like when they score a goal, everyone's like really jumping in more than usual. So you can understand why they are where they are in the standings, which explains this line, I guess. Of course, they are favorites now for the President's Trophy, which is good for you with your bet there. But that said, plus 205 for the Flyers, I'm going to have to take that. That's just too big of a price. Capitals have not much to play for. I mean, they locked it up. Who gives a fuck about the President's Trophy? Flyers plus 205. I think that's a good number. They can spoil the party here. They are more or less rivals. Maybe not. It's not the tussle at the turnpike. It's not played in Pittsburgh, but still, they are Metro Divisional rivals. So plus 205 for the Flyers. I gotta take that. That's just too big of a price. So that's where I'm going. The total is no interest to me, but plus 205 is just too big of a number. Give me the Fly, guys.
All right, down to 7 p.m. again. Got the Panthers minus 192 at the Blue Jackets plus 160, over 5.5 minus 125, under 5.5 plus 105. Joel, throwing this one to you. Also, what's your Flyers points under number? Is it like 81.5 or something?
It's the same as Pittsburgh. So yeah, 81.5. Yeah, so hopefully they both cash.
Yeah, you should be good there in Philly,
yes,
I think.
Thankfully, because the rest of them are not doing too well. Definitely not the Blue Jackets one. Under 69.5. That's almost dead already. I'm pretty sure.
It is dead. Yeah, they're at 70. Yeah.
Oh fuck, we already lost that one. All right. Two teams have a lot to play for. Panthers need to win the division. Blue Jackets need to make the playoffs, so we shouldn't question motivation in this one. Yeah, I'm going, okay, here's a glimpse behind the mirror, glimpse behind the curtain, whatever the saying is. We're going fire from the hip, okay? During Lent, we're trying a different philosophy. We're not going to do the traditional approach, the way that we approach games from October to February. We're going to fire from the hip going forward, and that's why I'm just going to these games blind. But yeah, the Panthers here, minus 192. They're just too big of a favorites. Sadly, say it. I want the Panthers to win for our future's sake, but the Blue Jackets here, I think, are underappreciated at plus 160. Panthers have been struggling since their win against the Leafs, and they have 2 more games against the Leafs as well. So there's definitely some look aheads in that respect. So the Blue Jackets here plus 160 is a little bit calling me, but the over 5.5 I think is pretty good as well. The Blue Jackets offense is clicking. Panthers offense is always clicking, and the defense is certainly not as good as it has been in years past. So over 5.5 is my favorite bet in this game, but if I have to play a side, it would be the Blue Jackets at plus 160.
Yeah, I mean, that Atlantic Division's getting tight there with the Lightning tied with the Leafs, both of them 2 points behind the Panthers, and Blue Jackets obviously need points, like you said. So, yeah, both of these teams, Blue Jackets have lost 4 in a row. They've got shut out in 2 of their past 3 games, 3 of their past 6 games there. So not scoring too much, even at home for our good friend Bull Jacks. Yeah, I think that's the way you have to go. Plus 160 for this Blue Jackets team. Panthers are on the 5th game of a road trip, but just had 3 days off. So I imagine they may have went back home to practice and whatnot. But
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. 3
have
days
you
off.
Seen Sam Reinhart's Instagram or something?
No,
where is he at?
I'm fired from that. I have no idea. Yeah, Florida. Yeah, they've gotten out. They got outplayed by the Islanders there. Outshot. Columbus had 46 shots to the Devils 20 last game. Just couldn't get it through. I think they finally break through at home. So yeah, Blue Jackets home dogs plus 160 would be the way to go for me. And yeah, I'll take the over here, but stronger on the side.
I doubt they went home, just based on the way that these sports teams treat these games. I would imagine they stayed around.
Let me see. How many more games do they have on this road trip? They go to Washington and they're back home. Yeah. They probably just whatever. Probably stayed in a nice hotel and got some nice rest in there. All right, we are brought to you by DraftKings. When it comes to college basketball and March Mania, one thing is for sure, nothing's for sure. Upsets, buzzer beaters, Cinderella's advancing, top seeds going home early. It's all going to happen. Bet the unexpected every upset, every day with DraftKings Sportsbook. With live betting, exclusive content, promos, and parlays, DraftKings is the ultimate college basketball destination for March. First time, here's something special just for you. New DraftKings customers bet $500 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. So bet the unexpected with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SGP. That is code SGP for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm is throwing an epic March Madness party, and you're invited. All Rhythm users are invited. Watch party going on right now. Hopefully you guys are there hanging out with the guys. You can still win a $250 March Madness future for one random lucky Rhythm user. A free party plus a chance at $250 future bet when you sign up with Rhythm. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/party for details. Yeah, that disclaimer isn't quite as quick as I read it, but it's nice to get a nice.
I don't know how much I could say, but that was the goofiest ad break I've ever heard.
All right, down to 7 o'clock again here. Got the Calgary Flames plus 150 at the New Jersey Devils minus 180. Under 5.5 is minus 122. Over 5.5 at plus 102 here. Impressive win from the Flames last night. Got to give them credit. 35-13 were the shots. Winning on a back-to-back after getting their doors blown off in Toronto the night before. Now, 3rd game in 4 nights, might be feeling that a bit. And the Devils are, shocking me kind of without Jack Hughes. They won 4 of their past 5 games. Only loss was in Pittsburgh. Decent win in Columbus on Monday night here, but I don't know if I can lay minus 180. I do think they run out of gas at some point and have to, this Flames team is hungry, but I also can't take the Flames. I can't bet money on this Flames team right now. So, if anything, I guess maybe the under, but this is just going to be that would just be based off season trends. Both of these teams are profitable to the under this year, but this is a good old fashioned pass game for me.
Understandable. Very tricky game here. Situationally, you got to fade the Flames after a big win against the Rangers. They were very good in that one, though, so you got to pay some respect to that. But the Devils, yeah, since losing Jack Hughes, they've been surprisingly pretty good. They're finding some more offense, even though the best offensive player. Like, once again, this is another strike in the favor of the fallen star theory kind of thing. Like, when your best guy goes out, the rest of the team steps up, and that's what's happened with the Devils lately. So, yeah, the line kind of makes sense. The instincts say Flames here at plus 150, but I can't trust them with the way that they've been playing recently. You can't just base your bet on recency bias, right? Like, the way they played against the Rangers is not how they played for the past 2-3 weeks. Yeah, like they should have won that game by more than one goal against the Rangers. So it's a tough one to call. If anything, I would take the over 5.5, thinking that the Flames can get some offense going. Devils, the way that they're playing offensively, okay. Plus 102, that's a very cheap, very cheap. This is one of the cheapest prices you'll find all year in terms of totals. So that's the way that I would look, but this is not a game I'm going to be betting. But if I had to bet it, it would be the over 5.5.
All right, down to 7 o'clock again here. Got the Toronto Maple Leafs plus 102 at the New York Rangers minus 122. Over 5.5 minus 122. Under 5.5 plus 102. Joel, back to you.
This is one that I'm not firing from the hip. I've made 2 bets in this game already. I have already bet the Rangers, considering the Maple Leafs are playing on the back-to-back. I assume it's Stolarz. I haven't turned the game on. Sadly, I'm a very shitty Avs fan here.
It's Wall tonight, actually.
Okay, we got Stolarz. So he's a little better than Wall. That said, Leafs on the back-to-back, going down in New York after playing a tough game against the Avalanche. Horrible situation. The Rangers just getting embarrassed. Like, they're getting fucking fed in New York right now. Like, they got to be getting reamed out. You know, the New York media still has a lot of strength there. They got to have a better performance than what they did, and they're a desperate team to make the playoffs, considering the age of the team. They got, like, this is supposed to be their prime, right? They got to make the playoffs when they got that, you know, Trocheck, Kreider, JT Miller, Panarin, all these guys in their lower 30s. They got to make the playoffs, man. This is a do or die kind of game. No, the Maple Leafs aren't fighting for them for the playoffs or anything, but the Rangers need every point they can get. So minus 122, love that. Totally expect that to go up. And over 5.5 as well. Even with Stolarz in net, I like that. You know, Shesterkin is going to do his thing, but the Rangers, the way that they give up chances against, the way that they generate chances for, it's going to be an over kind of game. So over 5.5, minus 122. Rangers minus 122. I love both those bets.
Yeah, you gotta go Rangers here. This has already moved a bit. I saw it minus 115 earlier today. This is only going to climb up higher. Last 10 games, the Leafs have the worst expected goals for percentage in the league, and they're going to be on that back-to-back after
the worst
over the past 10 games. Expected goals 4%. Yeah, so they somehow have 5 wins in that span. Let me look at none of their, I guess, and they played out the Rangers on February 28th. They beat them 3-2, got outshot 35-16. So that wasn't a back-to-back. Hopefully, with it being a back-to-back, the Rangers can pull it out here. But yeah, I mean, Laviolette is coaching for his life. He has to be there. Like, he has to be fired if they don't make the playoffs.
He should be fired anyway, even if they make the playoffs.
Yeah, he should
not a good coach anymore.
Yeah, unless they somehow go on a run in the playoffs, he should be fired. But yeah, Leafs are playing for the division. Rangers playing for a playoff spot. But yeah, motivation here, I think, goes to the Rangers, as does their recent play before last game. At the very least, Rangers are 7th worst in the past 10 games, though. So both of these teams kind of
suck.
Kind of disappointing. Yeah, but I do think Shesterkin here pulls it out. So yeah, Rangers minus 122, but I do like the under 5.5 at plus 102. Rangers have not been allowing many goals, have not been scoring many goals, so I could see like a 2-1, 3-2 type of game, even though, I don't know, the Leafs do play a bunch of over games now, don't they? So I'll stay away from the total. Just give me the Rangers at minus 122. All right, down to 7 o'clock again here. Got the Colorado Avalanche minus 110 at the Ottawa Senators minus 110. Under 6.5 minus 130. Over 6.5 plus 110. Joel, right back to you here.
I'm scrambling to see who is playing in net for the Avalanche. Like I said, I should have turned the Avalanche game on.
Blackwood I saw.
Okay, so we got Wedgwood in for this one. Yeah, Senators are like again another playoff war team. Avalanche, what they got to play for is just to get this 2 seed against the Stars. Well, that's ideal scenario. Really, they just want to avoid the Wild overtaking their 3 spot. But yeah, playing the Leafs, then going to Ottawa, that's a massive letdown spot. Depends what happens in this game. This is another one that I'm not looking to see what happens. Like, just wait, see what the line moves, see what happens in this game against the Leafs. If the Avalanche win, then you kind of like the Senators a little more, but the Avalanche lose, and maybe you get a little bit more motivation out of them. But yeah, right now there's not much going on. Over 6.5 plus 110. The Senators are playing very good defense lately. They got some very volatile goaltending. Allmark has been like one of the best to one of the worst on a game-to-game basis. Yeah, so this is not a game I'm going to be looking to bet as of this moment, but we'll see what happens in this Leafs game, and maybe we'll have an opportunity to bet this later in the cycle.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's probably the best way to approach it, but given that we're podcasting right now, 23 hours before the game, we got to go with.
You got to look. You got to look.
I have a few plays actually. I have more than an L word. I like the Sens here at minus 110, and I like the over 6.5 at plus 110. I like the over 5.5 better. I think I got that at like minus 120 earlier, if that's still out there. But this should be an over game here. They're past. I mean, the 5-4, 7-4, 6-4, 5-4 were their 4 meetings earlier this year and then last season. So a bunch of high-scoring games between these two teams. Senators have been scoring a lot, allowing a lot of goals recently. And yeah, like you said, should be a letdown spot for the Avs. Got the backup goalie in there. And the Avs still, they're getting their road record better, 18-14-1. But Ottawa is 29-2 at home, coming off that loss in Montreal. I think they get back on track to help secure that first wild card. So I like the Sens here, minus 110, and I like the over 6.5, plus 110. Right down to 7:30 now. Got the Vancouver Canucks plus 114 at the St. Louis Blues, minus 135. Under 5.5, minus 122. Over 5.5, plus 102. Joel, 3 in a row here.
Wow. I said gimme, but I was trying to play for this one. The Blues are just too fucking hot right now. You can't beat them. Like they finally got things clicking. Their underlying numbers are actually looking pretty good, relatively speaking. Yeah, they just keep rolling. They got guys firing, even without Colton Parayko, their best defenseman. He's been missing. We got Quinn Hughes back for the Canucks, but still, plus 114. I don't think that's a big enough number to play. Vancouver, this is a massive, massive game, considering these are currently, I haven't looked at Dobbs' model lately, but I would imagine that these are the 2 favorites to make the playoffs for that 8 seed in that final wildcard spot in the West. But Canucks are still a better team, but going out of St. Louis with what they've been playing right now, I can't back the plus 114. It's just too small of a number. Let me see if there is something else better for you guys if you want to shop around. No, there's not really. Plus 120 is the best I see. So I got nothing for this one, sadly. But the Canucks, they played one of their best games of the season in the game against the Jets. And the Jets actually played pretty well, but the Canucks finally showed their top level. They elevated their game. Absolutely. Pettersson was playing well. Brock Besser finally got off the schneid. 2 goals there. Rick Tocchet said ka-ching. That was a ka-ching goal because, he's a free agent in the summer. So, yeah, it's about vibes. Both teams are vibing, but Blues have a longer track record of vibing. If you go back through the past month, like the Canucks have one good game. I can't say that they're vibing just yet. So this game I'm staying away from, but I do really wish the Canucks win because the Blues making the playoffs would not be good. So yeah, take it away, Ryan. What do you have for this one?
I mean, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be betting it. This is a huge game for our futures. We're big on Blues to miss. I like Vancouver to make here, and if it was independent of that, just this game here, I think I would go with Vancouver at plus 114 if I had to bet it. Having said that, St. Louis has the best expected goals 4% in the past 10 games, but looking at their recent wins, like beat the Kings a few times. I think that's a good matchup for them. They beat the Wild. That's not really too impressive right now. Beat the Ducks, beat the Predators. So they're feeling good. But I feel like the Canucks. I mean, you said it there twice now. This was their best game of the year last night. 6-2 win over the top team in the West. Quinn Hughes is back. I'm assuming he looks pretty healthy there. So as long as it's Lankinen in net there, you got to go with the Canucks at a plus number here. As for the total, really no look there. Given the past few games, Canucks have scored 6, 6, and 4 in their past 3 wins. So I guess maybe the over, but I'm going to pass there on the total. All right, we are brought to you by Underdog. My bonus Underdog Pick'em. Underdog Pick'em, you can play any sport and win up to 100 times your entry. You also got some NHL playoff best ball there, the Big Zamboni. So make sure you check that out with promo code HGP to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. That's underdogfantasy.com, promo code HGP. And of course, make sure you check out Edge Boost, the premier Visa debit card for bettors. An Edge Boost card allows you to avoid the hassle of having your card denied at the sportsbook, DFS site, sweepstakes site, racetrack, or casino. Plus, you can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards for using your Edge Boost card. And you know your money is safe as the card is FDIC insured. The best part is no credit checks and it's completely free. Sign up for Edge Boost and enter our free $2,000 bracket contest at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bracket.
Do you have an Athletic account?
I do not, but I know how to get around the paywall. I can pull that up while you're talking about the next game.
Okay, let's do that because I can't do it on my PC apparently. Let's go. Let me do the odds here. Okay, we got the Montreal Canadiens against the New York Islanders. Joel's team apparently. Got the Islanders at minus 135 favorites. Canadiens 14 on the dog price or 5.5 minus 15. Islanders minus 105. This is tale of two teams. Like both teams are very fucking hot right now. Islanders are really pushing. They looked out of it. The Canadians looked out of it. This is a real war, and the lines reflect it. I can't really pick a side here in this one. I think it's a pretty fair price here, considering. If anything, I would take the Islanders. I think that they are still a bit of a better team, considering the home ice advantage and all that. Minus 135. That's the way I'd play it, but I got nothing for this one. I do hope the Canadians win this game. Be a massive, massive win for us, of course, if the Canadians somehow get to 90 points, make the playoffs even. Of course, Talon would owe me a lot of money as well. RIP to that. But for the total, we got an over team versus an under team. So if you want the Canadians, you want the over 5.5. You want the Islanders, you want the under 5.5. That's the way I'm looking at this. I got nothing for this game. I really hope the Canadians win. That'd be very good for us. Brian, did you figure out the Athletic Thomas model?
I did. This might be the archive of yesterday's post, so it might not be updated after last night. But you Canucks at 48% to make the playoffs. Blues 22. Utah 19. So yeah. The Blues, so there's still the Blues. Yeah. I think.
I know Dom always hates the Blues, so that could be a little bit depressed. But we also hate the Blues, so we're aligned in that respect as well. Yeah, yes, we also love and miss Talon's goofy antics. Yes. Thank you for that, Trevor.
In the East, he has Rangers 41%, Canadians 26%, Blue Jackets, Islanders both 15%. So that's a little bit more spread out. For this game, I mean, two teams that are vibing pretty well. Habs have won 3 of their past 4. Only loss there was in overtime on a back-to-back, 7-1-2 in their past 10. Islanders 6-3-1 in their past 10. They're doing this thing where they stay afloat with loser points and then make that playoff push late in the year. Patrick Roy revenge game against Montreal here, maybe. I don't really think I have anything strong here. I don't want to bet on either of these teams. Maybe the Habs at plus 114. They're decent on the road. I don't trust the Islanders, but they're coming off 2 big wins. So it's probably a pass game here. Head to head, 2-1 overtime back in December, 4-3 shootout back in October. Maybe an overtime game here. These two teams could definitely use the points in the playoff race. So maybe a draw play at 3-1 or better. Right down to 8 p.m. here. I got the Tampa Bay Lightning plus 114 at the Dallas Stars minus 135. Over 5.5 is minus 130. Under 5.5 is plus 110 here. Lightning, the Stars are. We talked about it last year a little bit. Like ever since Mikko Rantanen's joined them, they have not been playing too well. Did get the win against the Ducks last night, but needed overtime. Had to come back in the third. Lightning have been a little bit up and down recently. Did beat the Bruins pretty handily there. Shots were 40-12. Beat the Flyers 23-21. Just Flyers got completely outclassed there. But yes, Tampa's under 500 on the road, 15-15-3. Stars are 25-7-1 at home. So if I go anyway here, I think it has to be Dallas. Did also see today that Peter DeBoer said Miro Heiskanen might miss the first round of the playoffs. So that's something to keep in mind for your Dallas futures out there. But yeah, for this
Avalanche,
one, I like the Stars
futures,
and the under. Yeah, that'd be great for Avalanche futures. Yeah.
Fuck, man. This is another game kind of on the fence with, but the Lightning do have a little bit more to play for. Stars pretty much got that second spot locked up against the Avalanche. Can have home ice advantage. They're not going to make the first seed against the Jets. That's almost guaranteed. Lightning, though, they're in a war against the Panthers and the Leafs, so that's the motivational aspect, and they are playing better hockey right now than the Stars are, that's for sure. So if anything, I would play the plus 114. Over 5.5, minus 130. Kind of interesting considering the way that the Stars are playing. Their offense is still firing on all cylinders, but their defense is pretty bad without Heiskanen in there, and the goaltending is very mid. Ottinger's having a down year, so over 5.5, plus 114 for the Lightning. But this is not a game I'm going to be too interested in, but I do hope the Lightning win just to make sure the Leafs don't win the division.
All right.
Oh, it's 1-1. It's 1-1 against the Avalanche and the Maple Leafs. Who scored? I did make that bet on the McKinnon. Keep going.
All right. 8 p.m. here. I got the Anaheim Ducks plus 145 at the Nashville Predators minus 175. Over 5.5, minus 122. Under 5.5 here at plus 102. These are two teams I'm not sure if I want to put any sort of money on or even any sort of puck bucks on right now. I mean, Preds looked like they were having a decent stretch in the second half here. Now have scored 2 goals combined in their past 3 games against the Ducks. 2-1 loss in Anaheim last week. 1-0 shootout overtime loss in LA, then 4-1 to St. Louis. Ducks got that win over the Preds, lost in St. Louis, got a point against the Stars there. I guess the Ducks here at plus 145 would be the way to look, but may also just look to the under 5.5 at plus 102. Unders in 5 straight here for the Preds. Saros has been playing decent in net. Dostal allowed 4 and 5 in his past 2 games, but I mean, as long as it's him and not Husso, I feel like Ducks in the under would be my two looks here.
You either have to be a madman or you have to have inside information to bet minus 175 in the National Predators here in a meaningless March game against the Ducks, who have equally as much to play for, which is absolutely nothing. And Ducks have been playing better hockey than the Predators of late, and it's just minus 175 is a fucking crazy price. So plus 145 or nothing for me. Over 5.5, just a goofy game. I got nothing for this one. I'm not going to be betting this, but I do hope you guys are watching March Madness instead, because God help you if you're watching Ducks Preds. If you're not Canadian, if you're Canadian, fine. We're hockey people up here. But if you're American and you're watching Ducks Preds instead of I don't even know the games are tomorrow. Instead of March Madness, you're fucking wild, man. Credit to you, but I got nothing for this one. Ducks are nothing.
All right, down to 8:30 here. Got the Los Angeles Kings minus 258 at the Chicago Blackhawks plus 210. Over 5.5, minus 120. Under 5.5, plus 100. Joel, take this one.
God damn it. Do I want to back the Blackhawks here? Plus 210. I know he said that they were very hot before I was astutely corrected by Professor Smitty in the last show. But that's a crazy number there. I know that they'll get bet against. Like, if you want to bet the Kings, I think that you want to bet them now because the Blackhawks are actually a truly abysmal team, and the market rating will not like them at all against the Kings. So that's my recommendation. Just wait to bet the Blackhawks, and hopefully they come up with a random win against the Kings, who are pretty much locked up there in that third spot in the Pacific. Like, this is Lent. This is Lent. You know, this is March. No, this is Lent. Okay, just wait and bet these fucking stupid dogs in March. All right, that's the only bet I would make in this one. The under 5.5 is kind of interesting because I think both offenses are pretty impotent. So yeah, it's wait for the best Blackhawks number. Currently, the best number is better than this one. So yeah, just bet the Blackhawks at the best number if you want to bet this game. Like I said, it's not appealing to me at all.
Yeah, I'm seeing 225 right now. 275 is the minus odds there for the Kings. Yeah, this is going to go up if you like the Kings. Bet them now. You got Sharky in the chat saying Kings puck line at plus money. I guess maybe but I like the under here the best. I think under 5.5 plus 100, or just Chicago team total under 2.5. I think that's around minus 150. They've scored 2 or fewer in each of their 5-game losing streak. Kings usually allow 2 goals or fewer, had back-to-back shutouts before going to Minnesota there. Kings are bad on the road, 13, 18, and 5. So Chicago 13, 16, and 4 at home. So yeah, I think if I play a side, it might be Chicago, but I think the under 5.5 is the best look here. All right, down to 8:30. Got the Winnipeg Jets plus 102 at the Edmonton Oilers minus 122. Over 5.5 minus 135. Under 5.5 at plus 114. Should be a good matchup here between 2 of the top Canadian teams, and Winnipeg, coming off that 6-2 loss in Vancouver last night, breaking their 3-game winning streak. Seems like they had, they still won 5 of their past 7 games here, but Oilers, we got that game we wanted to see from them last night. 7-1 win in their return home over Utah here. So I'm taking Edmonton at minus 122. Winnipeg has not been as good on the road. Edmonton's been pretty good at home this year. So I'll take the home Oilers at minus 122 here. As for a total, I guess that correlates with the over, but I'm just going to be playing the home favorites here.
Tough one to call. The Oilers do have a little bit more to play for, considering they could still win the Pacific Division. Goaltending mismatch, of course, but I won't be surprised to see if Hellebuyck gets a few more games off down the stretch. We'll see. Don't think he's confirmed yet for this one. But regardless, even Eric Comrie's at least as good as Stuart Skinner the way that he's been playing lately. So yeah, the Oilers are still a better team for me overall. If the guys are clicking, McDavid, of course, he had 3 points in the last game. Draisaitl, 6 shots and 0 points. We expect him to bounce back a little bit. A little bit of positive regression there. So Oilers minus 122. I agree with that. Absolutely. Total is uninteresting to me. If anything, the under 6 at I don't know. These odds on DraftKings are confusing me.
Minus 110 is out there.
Yeah, minus 110.
Yeah.
You got well, you can get better than that. Well, pretty close to it. Yeah, minus 110. We'll call it that. Minus 110 on the under 5.5 is maybe the best bet that I would play in this one. But fuck you, Shark. This guy is a guy who doesn't. He's only drank in college. Let's show this on the live stream. No one on God's green earth, he says, needs to tilt the beer that far back to drink it, Joel. Buddy, you got to get to the last drop.
Buddy, guy, you can't waste it.
Exactly. Every single drop counts, dude. Like, don't leave a fucking drop behind. Don't leave a man behind. Like Blackhawk down.
No drop left behind. No drop left behind.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. All right, down to 9 p.m. here. I got the Buffalo Sabres plus 145 at the Utah Yotes minus 175. Over 5.5 minus 135. Under 5.5 plus 114. Joel, back to you.
Man, these March games are pretty pitiful. Yeah, hockey club coming after a bit of a road trip up north. That's a tough spot. Sabres coming down. They're playing absolutely useless hockey right now. The minus 135 and the over 5.5 is kind of calling me, but of course, I got to go to the other screen to see where the actual line is. And yeah, over 6, minus 110. I would like that quite a bit. I want to see goals in this game. Both teams are playing pretty good offensive hockey. Defensively, not so much. Goaltending has been up and down for both teams. So the over is my play for this one. It's just too much of a price to back the hockey club. I do think that they win the game, but minus 175 is too big of a price to pay. So just give me goals in this one.
Yeah, Utah should win here, but you said it. Way too much to pay there, minus 175. Sabres have some good vibes here. Back-to-back overtime shootout win over Boston and Vegas. Had a win against Edmonton last week as well. So 3 wins in their past 4 games. But Utah needs this win. They need the points. They haven't been a great home team. They need the points to stay in the playoff race. So yeah, I guess the over 6 minus 110 or whatever you can find it at might be the best look here. Utah beat Buffalo 5-2 back in December, if that means anything. But this is just a classic March game where maybe Buffalo's feeling good and they win, but Utah needs the points. This is pretty much a pass game.
And it's not a Malinsky. Only 3 games on that road trip.
Yeah. Right down to 10 p.m. here. I got the Boston Bruins plus 210 at the Vegas Golden Knights minus 258, over 5.5 minus 120, under 5.5 plus 100. Vegas on the puck line is plus 102, and that's the way I'm going here. Vegas did have a 4-game road trip, but they had 3 days off now, back at home to get ready to go to face the Bruins, who had those 2 wins against Tampa and Florida, but since then 6-3 to Ottawa, 6-2 to Tampa, and then 3-2 to Buffalo last night or Tuesday night when Buffalo's first road win in like 2 months there. So don't see Boston going on the road to Vegas and winning this one or even necessarily keeping it close. So give me the Golden Knights on the puck line at plus 102.
Can't really argue with that. Certainly not something that I'm looking to back the minus 258 with. If I had to bet it, you just minus 1.5, minus 1.5. The Bruins have been losing by margin. When they do lose, when they're winning games, they tend to win them in overtime. But yeah, minus 258 is just too big a price. Yeah, finally we agree with something with Shark there. He says, give me that under 5.5. That's the only way that I would look in this one. I know the Bruins been involved in a lot of high-scoring games recently, but I don't think that that's consistent. I don't think that that's congenial with the way that they play. So I do see a lower-scoring game in this one. But again, this is, once again, not a game I'm looking to bet. I just hope the Golden Knights get it done and hopefully take home that Pacific Division crown.
All right, down to the final game on the docket here.
God.
10:30, we got the Carolina Hurricanes minus 325 at the San Jose Sharks plus 260. Hurricanes puck line minus 130, over 5.5 minus 135, under 5.5 plus 114. Joel, close it out.
Oh, fuck. Sharks plus 260. Give me a fucking break. They are a better team that they got credit for. I know they got the worst point total in the league, but they've been worth more than the results have shown. So plus 260 I think is pretty good. Hurricanes don't have too much to play for. They've been locked up into that second seed with the Devils being far behind them. So yeah, Sharks all the way. They're going to be playing their hearts out to beat the Hurricanes. And the over 5.5, I think that's a really good bet. Of course, that's minus 135 on our site. So that's minus 110 at over 6. Oh, you can get minus 101 at certain places. Oh, you can even money at certain places. So I love that over in this one. I think it's a dumb game. And the Sharks correlated with the over. I like that quite a bit. But my favorite bet is definitely the over 6 there at even money. I do think we get a dumb game where nobody really gives a shit. It's just a late March game in San Jose. Nobody cares who really wins the game in terms of their standings. So we're going to see some goals here. And in that case, the Sharks do have a little bit of value there, plus 260. So yeah, give me the over and a little bit on the Sharks.
Yeah, I guess Sharks has to be the side plus 260. You can't trust the Hurricanes as big favorites. I thought they would have a worse record than this, but according to Sportsline, when the line is between minus 297 and minus 327, they're 4-0 this year. So they've been able to get those wins, get those wins as big favorites. But no, the Sharks here at plus 260 at home, probably only going to climb higher. It is Georgi Romanov starting for the Sharks in net in the AHL this year.
Wait, who?
Georgi Romanov. 11-6-3, 905 save percentage in the AHL this year. This will be his second game. He allowed 2 goals in 2 periods in his only appearance this year. Allowed 1 goal in 60 minutes last year with the Sharks. But you never know. So these goalies can come in and be crazy, especially against a team like the Hurricanes that just tries to grind you down there. But I am going to have to go with the under, probably under 5.5 plus 114. Rod Brind'Amour is not going to let his team, play too much open hockey. Especially both of these teams have not played since Saturday, so definitely going to see him try to have a more structured format there. Carolina's seems to be okay to play these lower scoring games, and I feel like if the Sharks win, it will be like a 2-1 3-2 type of game. So I don't know if I'm going to end up betting any of that, but I would go with the Sharks and the under. Right, that is the 14 game slate on Thursday, March 20th. Let's get into those puck buck bets here. Got quite a few here for this big slate. I'm going with Washington puck line plus 110 for 25 puck bucks. Columbus plus 160 for 20. Rangers minus 122 for 30. Ottawa minus 110 for 30. The over in that game, over 6.5 at plus 110 for 25. Kings Blackhawks under 5.5 plus 100 for 25. Edmonton minus 122 for 30. And then Vegas puck line plus 102 for 25.
Yeah, I didn't know I'd be going against the fucking latest Tsar Emperor there in the Sharks net, but good for whatever Georgiev that is, Georgiev the fourth. Let's go with the Blue Jackets Panthers over 5.5 minus 125, 20 puck bucks, and let's go with your Flyers plus 205, 15 puck bucks. Rangers minus 122, 20 puck bucks. Over 5.5 in the same game, minus 122, 20 puck bucks. Down, down, down. I did not like any of these late games. Let's see. I hate this minus 135 on the over 5.5 for Sabres Hockey Club, but whatever. We'll do 25 puck box over 5.5 in that one, minus 135.
Yeah. How much? 20 or 25?
25.
25. All right.
And finally, we will go with the Hurricane Sharks over 5.5, minus 135, 25 puck bucks.
And you're loving those juiced overs. You're loving them.
I don't like it, but we're using the book here that we got. Okay. And
DraftKings are a good friend to DraftKings.
Absolutely. And for Shark's sake, give me the plus 260 money line. 10 puck bucks. He only deserves 10 bucks.
All right. Those are the puck buck bets there at the 53-minute mark of the YouTube video. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment there. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple, on Spotify, wherever you listen. All right, Joel. Anything else here before we close it out? Who are your March Madness picks?
Well, I was going to save that for
Auburn still?
Yeah, I'm not too confident in it, but I do think that they are at least the second likeliest team to win it, if not the first. It's them or Duke. I was going to save that for my goodbye, but I got to find something else now. Thanks, Ryan.
You could have just been like, all right, just wait and see. I'll be like, all right, cool. That's but yeah, make sure you get in the Discord, sg.pn/Discord. Check out all the great college basketball stuff other shows are doing. Follow us on Twitter at HockeySGPN. And I am Ryan Gilbert. You can follow me on Twitter at rgilbertsop.
And I'm Joel Martin. Hopefully you won't find me at the fucking border crossing for more than 10 minutes for the next 20 years. Way better. That was way better.